Sarah was sitting on a bench near the playground, keeping a watchful eye on her stepson, Ethan, as he climbed the jungle gym. The park was alive with the sounds of children laughing and birds chirping. But for Sarah, the peaceful setting was shattered when two police officers stumbled toward her. Sarah, a 33-year-old black woman with warm brown eyes and a soft, nurturing demeanor, had been raising Ethan as her own ever since she married Julian, his father, 2 years ago. Her natural curls framed her face, and her casual attire, a simple blouse and jeans, spoke of her down-to-earth nature. The two officers reeked of alcohol. Their uniforms were unkempt, their badges slightly crooked. One of them, a burly man with a patchy beard, sneered at her. "What are you doing here? Don't you people have somewhere else to be?" Sarah tensed, her heart pounding. "Excuse me?" she asked, her voice steady but cautious. The second officer, younger but equally drunk, laughed. "We're just saying, this park isn't exactly your kind of place." Ethan, a bright-eyed 10-year-old with sandy blonde hair and an infectious smile, ran over to Sarah, oblivious to the tension. "Look, Mom, I climbed to the top." The first officer's gaze shifted to Ethan, and his smirk turned sinister. "Is this your kid? Doesn't look like it." Sarah instinctively pulled Ethan close. "He's my stepson," she said firmly, her protective instincts in overdrive. The younger officer leaned closer, his breath reeking of alcohol. "Stepson, huh? Maybe we should take him with us, just to make sure everything's okay." Ethan looked up at Sarah, confused. "What's going on, Mom? Who are they?" Sarah knelt down, placing herself between Ethan and the officers. "It's okay, Ethan," she said softly. "Go back to the jungle gym for a minute." But Ethan didn't move. He clung to her arm, his young mind sensing something was wrong. Julian, Sarah's husband and the local police chief, was in his office when his phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. "Come to the park. Now. Emergency." Julian was a tall, imposing man in his early 40s, with a chiseled jawline and piercing blue eyes. A man of integrity, he was respected in the community for his fairness and commitment to justice. Though he had been married before and was raising Ethan as a single father when he met Sarah, his love for her was undeniable. Without hesitation, Julian grabbed his jacket and keys. Julian arrived at the park to find the two officers cornering Sarah and Ethan. His fury boiled over as he stormed toward them. "Step away from my wife and son," he commanded, his voice low and menacing. The officers turned, their smug expressions replaced by dread. "Chief? We didn't realize." Julian's glare could have cut steel. "You didn't realize you were harassing a woman and a child in broad daylight?" Seeing Julian gave Sarah a wave of relief, though her hand still trembled. "They were drunk," she said, her voice shaking. "They said they were going to take Ethan from me, accusing me of kidnapping him even though he's been calling me Mom." She spoke, tears streamed down her face. Julian hugged her tightly. "It's over now, baby, I'll handle it." Julian called for backup. As other officers arrived, he instructed them to administer sobriety tests and take the offending officers into custody. "You've disgraced your uniforms," Julian said coldly as the two were led away. Back home, Julian sat down with Ethan. "What happened today was wrong," he explained. "Not all police officers behave like that, but when they do, it's my job to make sure they're held accountable." Ethan nodded slowly. "I'm glad you came, Dad. And Mom, you were really brave." That night, Sarah reflected on the ordeal. She had faced racism before, but never so openly. Yet she was proud of how she had protected Ethan. "No matter what, I'll always stand up for him," she told Julian. The incident quickly made headlines. Julian's decisive actions were praised, but the story also sparked debates about systemic issues within law enforcement. Sarah, a writer by profession, began sharing her experiences online. Her blog posts about racism, parenting, and justice gained traction, sparking meaningful conversations nationwide. Ethan began asking deeper questions about race and justice. Sarah and Julian worked together to teach him about equality and the importance of treating everyone with respect. At work, Julian implemented new training programs to address bias and abuse of power. His efforts earned him respect but also resistance from some colleagues. The ordeal brought the family closer. Julian and Sarah's relationship grew even stronger as they supported each other through the challenges. The two officers faced charges of harassment and child endangerment. Julian testified against them, emphasizing the importance of accountability in law enforcement. Sarah's blog evolved into a platform for advocacy, attracting thousands of followers who resonated with her message. Julian faced pushback from some officers resistant to change, but his unwavering commitment inspired many others to join his cause. Over time, Julian's reforms began to show results. Complaints of misconduct decreased, and trust between the police and the community improved. Years later, the family looked back on the incident as a turning point. Sarah's advocacy, Julian's leadership, and Ethan's courage had not only transformed their lives, but also made their community a better place.